Are you a little bit sorry for what you did to these poor innocent women? 8 women that you strangled to death, at least 8 that we know of. Are you at least a little bit sorry for that? Yes?
Yes, I am.
You know what? You've been described as a very big man, but you're a disgusting and despicable small man, if you're a man at all. And you're a coward.
June 17th, 2026. Riverhead, New York. A courtroom packed with families who had waited decades for this day. Rex Heuermann was meticulous. He kept a written planning document. 4 columns, coded burial sites, problems, supplies, pre-prep, post-event, things to remember, sound travels. 17 years of careful, precise, deliberate words. When he entered that courtroom, he began to address the court while seated. Like this room was his. Like every room before it had been. Judge Timothy Mazzei stopped him. "Stand," he said. Heuermann stood and was given his chance to speak, with 8 families in those seats, decades of grief in that room. He said this, "There are no words I can say. I'm responsible for what was said in this room today. The words I would say have no meaning, and I'm going to leave it there." 11 words of accountability for 8 women across 17 years.
Rex Heuermann pleaded guilty to 7 murders and admitted to killing an 8th killing as part of a plea deal.
Then he sat back down. The man who had a note for everything had nothing left to say. The families had more to say. So did the judge. This is what happened next. Sandra Costilua, 28 years old. She had a 5-year-old son when she was taken in November 1993. Hunters found her remains a week later in Southampton. For decades, nobody connected it to anything else. Karen Vergata, 34 years old. 2 sons. She was taken in April 1996. Her legs were found in Brookhaven that same month. Her skull was found near Gilgo Beach 15 years later. 15 years, in 2 different places. Valerie Mack, 24 years old. She had a son, taken sometime between September and November 2000. Some of her remains surfaced in 2000. The rest, over a decade later. Jessica Taylor, 20 years old, taken in July 2003. Her remains were found in pieces. In 2003 and again in 2011. Maureen Brainerd Barnes, 25 years old. 2 children, taken in July 2007. Her remains were found in 2010. Her sister has been searching for justice since before most people knew this case existed. Melissa Barthélemy, 24 years old, taken in July 2009. Her remains were found over a year later. Megan Waterman, 22 years old. She had a daughter, taken in June 2010. Her remains were found 6 months later. Amber Costello, 27 years old, taken in September 2010. Her remains were found in December of that year. 8 women. The youngest was 20, the oldest was 34. Several of them were mothers. All of them were targeted because he believed nobody would notice when they were gone. They were noticed, their families noticed, and they did not stop. 8 women. 8 families who never stopped asking questions. Tell us where you're watching this from. Because this case touched communities across Long Island, and their names deserve to reach every corner of the world. The courtroom in Riverhead held more than 24 family members. Standing room only. Reporters had been lining up since 5 a.m. When the families finally had their moment, Maureen Brainerd Barnes' sister, Melissa Kahn, stood up. She said, "Today is not about the person responsible. Today is about the women's lives who were stolen. It's about their voices, their futures, their families, the love that still surrounds them. They are the reason we are here." And then she turned away from the court, and she spoke directly to her sister. Finally, to Maureen, "The promise I made to you so long ago was simple. I would never stop searching for justice for you. Through every year, every setback, every unanswered question, I carried you with me, and I kept that promise. And today, it has been done." Attorney Gloria Allred, who represents several victim families, said, "Some of these women were young mothers, just trying to earn a little extra money to support their children. It wasn't what they wanted to do, but it was what they felt forced to do, because they had no meaningful alternatives." For over an hour, the family spoke. The judge listened. And according to those who were in that room, Judge Timothy Mazzei became visibly emotional. A judge who has heard everything was moved to tears by what those families carried in. The judge looked at him. "I know that you're sorry you got caught. I assume you're sorry for what you've done to your wife and children. Are you a little bit sorry for what you did to these poor, innocent women? 8 women that you strangled, at least 8 that we know of. Are you at least a little bit sorry for that?" Heuermann said, "Yes, I am." The judge was not moved. "You know what? You've been described as a very big man, but you're a disgusting and despicable small man, if you're a man at all, and you're a coward." When the time came to remove Heuermann from the courtroom, Judge Mazzei looked at the deputies. "Get him out of here." The courtroom erupted. Applause, cheers, decades of grief turned into something else entirely. 30 years of waiting. Released in 3 words. Rex Heuermann was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. For Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, the 3 murders charged as first degree, committed within 18 months of each other. 4 consecutive sentences of 25 years to life. For Sandra Costilla, Valerie Mack, Jessica Taylor, Maureen Brainerd Barnes. Added together, his sentence exceeds 100 years, running consecutively, every term after the last.
Welcome back. And breaking news, the suspect in the Gilgo Beach serial killer case was just sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty to murdering 8 women.
Well, Reed, this really marks an end to one of the most chilling murder cases in New York history. Today, 62-year-old Rex Heuermann was sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole. And that sentence today capping off quite an emotional day inside the courtroom.
Karen Vergata, the 8th woman he admitted to, is covered under the plea agreement. There will be no separate trial for her. Rex Heuermann is 62 years old. He will never walk free. He will die behind the walls of a New York state prison. His attorney spoke outside the courthouse afterward. He said, "There are 2 parts of Rex. These acts were horrific. That's the Rex Heuermann responsible for 8 murders. The person I've been dealing with since July 2023 is as normal as they come when I'm talking to him." 2 parts of Rex. One of them strangled 8 women across 17 years. The other one sat in an architecture office on 36th Street and went home to Massapequa Park for dinner. Both parts are in that cell now, together, forever. After it was over, Maureen Brainerd Barnes' sister had one more thing to say. Not to the court, not to Heuermann, to anyone still waiting. To every family out there still searching, still waiting, still holding on, please do not give up hope, even when it feels impossible, even when the years pass and the silence grows heavy. Keep going. Your loved ones matter. They are not forgotten, and one day, answers can come. Suffolk County. D. Ray Tierney said something else that should stay with all of us. This case closes, and another one opens. There are still bodies on that beach. There are still bodies in Suffolk County. We are going to continue to work with our partners to try to obtain closure for as many families as we can. 11 sets of remains were found along Gilgo Beach in 2010 and 2011. Heuermann has been connected to 8 of them. The others remain unidentified. Their families are still waiting. And there is one more person this case destroyed who did not choose to be part of it. His daughter Victoria was 3 years old when one of his victims was taken. She grew up in that house in Massapequa Park. She had no knowledge of any of it. She's now named in a wrongful death lawsuit alongside the man who raised her. Rex Heuermann did not only destroy 8 lives on that beach, he destroyed everyone who loved him too. Subscribe to Darkest Crimes. We will cover every development as this investigation continues. Drop a comment. When you heard those 11 words from Rex Heuermann, there are no words I can say. What did you feel? because the families in that courtroom felt something very different when Judge Mazzei said, 3, 8 women, 30 years. And finally, someone said, get him out of here.